This video is just going to be me working in my grimoire, rambling about some witchy topics. I really didn't feel like doing a talking head video, so I thought a grimoire entry would be a good alternative. In this entry, I'm making a drawing of common bindweed with the information that I know about it and how I've worked with it before. I'm starting to put plant profiles like this on my Patreon if you're interested in getting all of this information on this plant and other plants. As the seasons change, especially as we creep into the spookier months, the talk of the wheel of the year and Sabbats always come up. I personally don't celebrate the Sabbats. I mean, I do, but I don't. Just grab a cup of tea or coffee or something because it's going to be a whole thing. First off, if you're new here, I'm Olivia, and my practice is more within the local hearth death witch style, with a hint of chaos magic. In simple terms, I primarily work with what I have and what the spirits in the land offer me. I don't follow any specific system of magic. What I do follow is cycles. I also travel a lot, and that information will come into play in a moment. I don't celebrate the Sabbats for a couple of reasons. Sabbats are a part of the Wheel of the Year, which is a part of Wicca, which both were created by Gerald Gardner sometime in the 50s. Within that, there's pulls from other practices, different cultural traditions, and by pull, I mean almost a copy and paste. Really everything is inspired by something else, but Wicca didn't really give credit to these old traditions, instead just claiming it as the old way of Wicca. Second, the word Sabbat itself is Jewish, and if you've heard the folklore of stories of the witches flying off into the night to celebrate the Sabbats and dance with the devil, then you've heard part of the many stereotypes that link Jews and devil worship. Honestly, that's a whole rabbit hole I highly recommend you diving into later. This is a Eurocentric system. I travel a lot, so I am not often in places that have 4-cycle seasons, just like most of the rest of the world. Even just in the US alone, there are places that get all 4 seasons and there are places that only have 2. Many of the traditions that come with the Wheel of the Year system, it's not really accessible or localized for the practitioners who are in the southern hemisphere or in tropical or desert climates. So this is why I celebrate cycles instead of the Sabbats. First, I'm a death witch. Death's lessons are all about cycles and not being completely attached to the way things are right now. I work with the plants and the spirits that are immediately around me, and also they are all on the local cycles. Working and living locally gives me a much deeper connection with the land and the spirits there. Instead of trying to bring a system that just does not fit the land, the culture, and the spirits of the place that I visit, instead I just take it as an opportunity to learn about how to move with the cycles, instead of going against the natural flow that it already has. Also, this is just really fun because I usually always get to learn something new. Now, I have celebrated the Sabbats, and I have used the names Yule, Beltane, Beltane, Samhain, whatever, etc., mainly because it's so widely understood, and I've also lived in the Northern Hemisphere my whole life in a place that does have 4-season cycles. So in a way, sure, you could say that I celebrate them, but it's not part of my system. Just as many non-Christians celebrate Christmas. And the same thing that many Christians would disagree with the statement by saying that celebrating Christmas, they're also celebrating Yule. There are different intentions behind each holiday, even if they are similar in many ways. There are so many other cycles to celebrate, and if you wanted to figure out how to craft your own yearly celebrations that best fit your own practice, climate, and part of the world, there's this book called The Year of the Witch by Temperance Alden. I also thought it was kind of fitting because this bindweed entry that I'm making came from a post that I made on Patreon, but that post was inspired by another creator on Patreon, Albert Bjorn. He posted a plant profile about an ally that he knows and he uses in his craft. It sounds like it's specific to northern Iceland, and no, it's not an exact match of anything that I have. I had an abundance of bindweed, and I felt like I had a very similar energy and very similar way of working with it. So if I were to visit Iceland again, I may keep an eye out for this plant that Albert mentions, as I don't recall seeing any bindweed while in Iceland the last time. There's a lot of witchy content out there now, which is great to a point, but as social media tends to do, it makes us compare our crafts and get that imposter syndrome that has no place in such an intimate thing such as a spiritual craft. So just take everything as inspiration, not as competition. Your craft shouldn't look like anybody else's. The whole point is to be tailored to you. I think that's all for now. I hope that you enjoyed this slightly different style of over tea. It did get me to finally put finalized information into my grimoire. As I stated in the beginning, my Patreon has these plant profiles, along with weekly readings, sigils, early access, exclusive videos, and a Patreon-only Discord chat. and is really what supports me and allows me to keep making videos. Either way, I appreciate you hanging out for a little bit, and as always, stay curious, stay kind, and may your gods treat you as you've treated others.